first 3 months, I think, that we were back, all students got free breakfast and free lunch.
Yeah.
All students got free breakfast and free lunch. So they didn't go through the normal whatever that you would have to qualify it. Everybody in the school got that. And I think that was a big help, knowing too, especially some of them who were displaced out of their home or had a lot, that at least they would get two meals here.
Yeah.
So that was another. And I think that was through, was that the government? I think, somebody, yeah. So that was.
I'm pretty sure,
yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So that was another one I wanted to say. That was helpful.
Yeah. What about the supports for you? What supports assisted you in your job in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey?
I don't know. I'd say sometimes they gave me a little time off to go meet some contractor at my house to try to, because me and my wife are both teachers in the district, so to go home and make sure somebody's doing right for 30 minutes and come back without charging me a whole day off, and so they just did little things like that to try to help me out because they knew I was displaced, and all that kind of stuff.
I was going to say I wasn't displaced, so I live in Beaumont and drive out here every day, and but I do know that one of my math teachers was displaced in the same Kim Sewell, and they did the same. Her house is just a couple of blocks over there, but if she needed to
go
meet a contractor over there, or even just step out of the room and have a few minutes to make a phone call, that that was fine, because sometimes the school day is 8 to 3:45 or 4 o'clock by the time, and the place of business is you can't do it all.
That's the same time for the people working on your house, or the same time for businesses to call and ask questions.
So if you needed to take a phone call or deal with the insurance people, a lot of times people needed to leave and meet with the insurance adjuster. They come when they come. So So I think that was...
Yeah, they were real lenient on helping us with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Were there other supports that helped you meet your professional needs?
I'm trying to think if anything was done.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the hard thing, I'll just say being in a core subject, is, the AP test is still the same day, the STAR test is still the same day, and you still have to get those kids ready. Even though we lost 3.5 weeks, essentially a month though, because we had a couple of snow days, but also right when you start back, you can't just start back, full force. I mean, and we had not even started school, so it was like, it happened when the first day of school was supposed to start. So then you have to have, a little bit of time to assess the needs of your students and figure out who has a home, who doesn't have a home, who might need, I would try to get here early every day and open up my room. So if there was a group of kids, I'd get here at 7:30, 7:25, and they were sitting by my door. Have that room open up so those kids would have a place to come in if they wanted to. I had a Chromebook cart in my room, and they needed to do homework, needed internet, needed just a place to hang out.
Yeah. Thank you. And that leads straight into my next question, which is, how did your classroom change after Hurricane Harvey? I've got some sub-questions here, but just gut reactions.
I think when we first came, everybody was a little bit shell-shocked.
Yeah.
Don't you? And a lot of the kids, you see our football team, during the 3 weeks, our guys were out there helping people.
Yes, they were out there helping people.
Boats so taking supplies. There was drop-offs and helicopter, National Guard or whatever dropped off. And a lot of these kids, the high school students, especially the boys, were out there, helping in the community.
Yeah.
That's right. They were.
And so, I don't know. I think I feel like everything went a little slower.
Mm-hmm. How about your teaching focus? You were saying you've got the tests still at the same time. How did your teaching focus shift after Harvey?
Well, you had to lighten the way you usually do it, because, like she said, they didn't have no way to do homework and all that kind of stuff. So you had to kind of change how you do things.
And I think with the time constraints, I still have this body of material. It's going to be tested. I'm responsible for getting these kids to that spot. But in reality, I can't spend as much time on everything. So we had to make some decisions like, okay, well, maybe this concept I'm going to have to not teach this year, because you can go so fast that they can't absorb anything. So if normally you would teach 100% of the content, maybe this year we only got to teach 90 or 85% of the content, because we've made a decision it would be better to teach that well and have them understand that 85% than to go so fast just to say, oh, we touched something. And so we had to make decisions like that in the curriculum. I think you had to, because you lost a month.
Yeah.
And so, and I think for our algebra teachers, they lost the time that you would have to go into the depth, or that time that you would have maybe the 3 weeks before STAR where you would maybe do some drill and practice on some of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. You lost that because you had to cover the material.
Yeah. How about behavior management? Did that shift after Hurricane Harvey?
What do you think?
I don't think it was any worse or anything than normal.
Mm-hmm. The hardest thing at first was that we had so many more people in the school, because you had the whole middle school in the school along with the high school students. So what was that? An extra 300 people, an extra 300 kids, and so just in the halls. And also being aware there's a big difference between a 7th grader and a 12th grader. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they did separate the middle school, and they came up with a different lunch, so that they had lunch together, and then not in with the high school kids. But I think there were kids in trouble, and there were kids in ISIS.
But I think it's the same as normal.
Yeah, normal, yeah. I think it was just the flow, though, of having so many more bodies.
Yeah. I don't think there was more than any other year, really, though.
Yeah.
Getting in trouble. It's about the same amount.
Yeah. Thank you. Next question is one that I sometimes feel a bit silly asking, but we're going to go with it.
Okay.
How long did it take for your classrooms to go back to normal after Hurricane Harvey?
I don't. Maybe this year. At the start of this year, really, because you had to change everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that maybe when I came back after Christmas break,
yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there was I don't know if it was a normal, but it was a new normal.
Yeah.
And I mean, even when I made my lesson plans, because I made all these adjustments in my folders on Google, I have the year and I have Harvey, so that I would remember if I'm going back and looking later on at my lesson plans, why was I here at this time or there? That was not a normal year. And I even like to say it's kind of like a mulligan year we want to do over, but I mean, I think it took at least until after Christmas for it to even feel like somewhat normal. Maybe we got used to it, not that it was normal, but the new normal, the whole new normal.
Yeah, we got used to it. I think that's the best way to say it.
Thank you. So we're a year out from Harvey at this point. To what extent do you still see Harvey impacting your students? And I've got some sub-questions here to help us think through it.
We've been in school for 2 weeks now.
And so